The real reason Vogue is hiding Lauren Sanchez's name from the 2026 Met Gala, she paid for the entire event, and they were so embarrassed they buried her name so deep you had to dig through a separate press release just to find it. And when you see why, you will understand exactly what kind of person Lauren Sanchez really is. On February 23rd, Vogue announced the 2026 Met Gala. The theme, the co-chairs, the host committee, everything was there. Top celebrities like Beyoncé, Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, Anna Wintour, Sabrina Carpenter, and Doja Cat. It was polished, glamorous, and the comment section noticed something immediately. The name of the woman who is actually paying for the entire evening was nowhere to be found. Lauren Sanchez and her husband Jeff are the lead sponsors. They are the honorary chairs. Their money is funding the exhibition, the gala, the whole thing. But when Vogue made the announcement on Instagram, they buried that detail so deep you had to scroll to the second page of a separate press release to find it. Her name was not in the main post, not in the headline, not in the caption. They hid her, on purpose, and the internet caught it within minutes. One commenter wrote, "How come the Bezoses aren't featured? They're still funding it, trying to avoid backlash again." Another wrote, "Unfortunately, with the Bezos involvement, I've lost interest." And another said, "Fashion is art, but not political maybe? Since your owner is the Bezos, one of the most questionable billionaires." Vogue tried to scrub her from their own announcement, and it did not work. Because here is the thing about hiding someone, you can only hide a person when people are not already looking. And the entire internet has been watching Lauren Sanchez for years now, waiting for exactly this kind of moment. The reason Vogue tried tells you everything about what Lauren Sanchez has become in the public eye. But to understand the full scale of what happened, you need to see the system she bought her way into and why it was specifically designed to keep people like her out. The Met Gala is the most exclusive night in fashion. Every year, Anna Wintour personally approves every single guest. The list is capped at roughly 450 to 600 people. Individual tickets cost around $75,000. Tables go for $300,000, but here is the detail that separates this event from every other expensive party on the calendar. Even if you can afford a table, Anna Wintour still decides who sits at it. Money alone has never been enough. The entire system was built on a principle that Lauren Sanchez has been trying to buy her way around for years. You earn your place through cultural relevance, through artistic contribution, through the kind of influence that cannot be purchased with a wire transfer. The typical sponsors are fashion houses: Chanel, Prada, Louis Vuitton, companies that spent decades building credibility in the fashion world. The 2025 Met Gala was sponsored by Louis Vuitton, before that, Apple and TikTok. Corporate sponsors with global reach. What you almost never see is an individual person buying the entire event. That is what makes the Bezos sponsorship so unusual. This is not Amazon writing a corporate check. This is Jeff and Lauren Bezos personally funding fashion's biggest night and then being handed the title of honorary chairs as part of the deal. Commenters pointed this out immediately. One person wrote, "The gala is typically sponsored by fashion houses. It's never or very rarely sponsored by individuals, especially with so few other sponsors." And they were right. The 2026 Met Gala has Jeff and Lauren Bezos as lead sponsors, with Saint Laurent and Condé Nast as secondary sponsors. The couple with the least fashion credibility in the room is at the top of the bill. But here is where it gets uncomfortable. When CNN asked Anna Wintour about the backlash in November 2025, she called Lauren a great lover of costume and obviously of fashion, and said she would be a wonderful asset to the museum and the event. A wonderful asset? She did not call her a visionary, a creative force, or someone who has earned her place. She called her an asset. Even Anna Wintour, the woman who has guarded the gates of fashion for 3 decades, could not find a more flattering word than that. And the reason why tells you everything about what has been building behind the scenes for years. Because the Met Gala is not where this story starts, it is just where it finally became impossible to ignore. The pattern of Lauren Sanchez trying to buy cultural credibility and the world refusing to give it to her has been building since the day she married the richest man on earth. After her wedding to Jeff Bezos in Venice in June 2025, a wedding that reportedly cost upwards of $55 million, Lauren did something that the internet found very revealing. Within hours of saying "I do," she deleted every single photo from her Instagram. She changed her name from Lauren Sanchez to Lauren Sanchez Bezos. She uploaded exactly 2 new photos, both from the wedding, and started fresh. As if the woman she had been before no longer existed. As if becoming Mrs. Bezos was not just a marriage, but a complete identity replacement. One person online wrote, "She just couldn't wait to make that name change. I bet she lost sleep over it." During the wedding weekend, she had carried a purse with Mrs. Bezos embroidered on it in script. She wore a bracelet engraved with LB. Everything about the rebrand screamed one thing. She wanted the world to see her as a Bezos, not as Lauren Sanchez, and the world noticed. But the rebrand did not stop at Instagram. It went straight to the magazine that would later try to hide her name from its own announcement. On the day of the wedding, Vogue ran a digital cover featuring Lauren in her Dolce & Gabbana gown. The hashtag #ReadTheRoom trended within hours. Katie Couric publicly called the cover tacky. The Daily Beast called it instant backlash. One commenter summed up what most of the internet was thinking. Find me a single person on earth who has bought something because Lauren Sanchez wore it. That is not a comment about one photograph. That is a verdict on cultural relevance. And the timing raised questions that nobody at Vogue wanted to answer. Anna Wintour announced she was stepping down as Vogue's editor-in-chief shortly before the cover dropped. She kept her titles as Global Editorial Director and Chief Content Officer at Condé Nast, but sources speculated that the Lauren Sanchez cover was the price Wintour paid for keeping Bezos happy. Because Jeff Bezos has long been rumored as a potential buyer of Condé Nast. Multiple reports noted that Bezos has been trying to bring high fashion to Amazon for years, and Vogue is the gateway to that world. One source told the Daily Mail that Lauren landed the July issue partly because the Newhouse family want to butter up Bezos. So when Vogue hid Lauren's name from the 2026 Met Gala announcement, it was not an accident. It was the natural result of a magazine that knows its audience hates this arrangement but cannot afford to walk away from the money behind it. And if the fashion world's rejection were the only problem, that might be survivable. But it is not just designers and editors who keep pushing back. The public humiliation has been coming from every direction, and each incident has been worse than the last. In January 2025, Lauren showed up to Donald Trump's presidential inauguration wearing a white Alexander McQueen pantsuit with a lacy bustier that left almost nothing to the imagination. Megyn Kelly called her a hooker on television. Cameras caught Mark Zuckerberg apparently glancing at her chest, and the clip went viral for days. Her response was to like comments defending her outfit on Instagram, not address them, not explain herself, just silently tap the heart button on the comments that agreed with her, as if that would make the rest of the internet disappear. Then came Paris Haute Couture Week in January 2026, where she wore a Schiaparelli look that people compared to Cruella de Vil. The backlash was compounded by the fact that Jeff Bezos had become increasingly close to Donald Trump, which made the couple unwelcome in the traditionally progressive circles that dominate fashion. She was trying to insert herself into a world that was actively pushing her away, and still, that was not rock bottom. Then there was the children's book. In 2024, Lauren published The Fly Who Flew to Space. Her former yoga instructor sued her, claiming Lauren stole 60% of the concept from a book the instructor had already published. The instructor said she quit working for Lauren because she was, quote, a toxic person. Even the one creative project Lauren tried to claim as her own came with allegations that it was borrowed from someone else. But none of those moments are as revealing as what happened at the 2024 Met Gala itself. Reports surfaced that Lauren had been told she would be banned from the event unless Anna Wintour personally approved her dress. Wintour, who rarely gets directly involved in styling individual guests, made an exception for Lauren, reportedly reviewing multiple custom options with her before settling on an Oscar de la Renta gown. Lauren did not choose her own dress to the Met Gala. She was dressed by Anna Wintour, the way you dress a child, before a school photo. And even that level of control could not prevent the ongoing backlash, because the problem was never the dress. The problem is the person in the dress. And that problem becomes painfully clear when you look at who will be standing next to her on that carpet. When the 2026 Met Gala rolls around on May 4th, Lauren Sanchez Bezos will walk the carpet as an honorary chair. Beyoncé will be there as a co-chair because she is Beyoncé. Nicole Kidman will be there because she has been a fashion icon for decades and co-chaired the event before, going back to 2005. Venus Williams will be there because she built her own fashion line from scratch. These are women who earned their invitations through years of cultural contribution. Lauren earned hers through a wire transfer, and every single person in that room will know the difference the second she walks in. The thing about buying your way into a room full of people who earned their way in is that everyone knows, everyone can see the difference, everyone can feel it. You cannot buy taste, you cannot buy respect, and you cannot buy the kind of quiet authority that comes from doing the work instead of writing the check. But all of that, every rejection, every mocked outfit, every hidden name, every backlash headline, still is not the most devastating part of Lauren Sanchez's story. Because the cruelest comparison is not between Lauren and Beyoncé, it is between Lauren and the woman Jeff Bezos left behind. While Lauren Sanchez was deleting her Instagram to rebrand as Mrs. Bezos, Mackenzie Scott was quietly giving away $7.1 billion in 2025 alone. She did not do morning show appearances. She did not chase Vogue covers. She never sat in a Fashion Week front row. She gave $7.1 billion to over 225 organizations, including $59 million to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, $45 million to the Trevor Project, and $739 million to 16 historically black colleges. Since her divorce from Jeff Bezos, Mackenzie Scott has now given away $26.3 billion. She is approaching the giving level of the Gates Foundation, and she has done it without a publicist, without a stylist, and without asking anyone to put her name on anything. Half of the organizations she donated to did not even know the money was coming until the check arrived. That is how quiet her generosity is. She does not need credit. She does not need a front row seat. She does not need her name on a building or a press release or a Met Gala invitation. Think about what that looks like from the outside. One woman spent $55 million on a 3-day wedding in Venice. The other gave $7.1 billion to people who needed it. One woman deleted her entire identity to become Mrs. Bezos. The other kept her own name and built a legacy that has nothing to do with the man who left her. One woman bought her way into the Met Gala and had Vogue try to hide her name because even they knew the public would not accept it. The other has never needed an invitation to anything because respect follows her wherever she goes. The internet calls it quiet money versus loud money, but it is more than that. It is the difference between a woman who earned her place in the world and a woman who married into it and still cannot get the world to take her seriously. And the most painful part, if you are Jeff Bezos, is that the comparison will never stop. Every time Lauren reaches for the spotlight, Mackenzie is standing in the background, giving away billions, reminding the world of what he had, a partner who was there in the garage, who packed the boxes, who drove the van across the country while Jeff wrote the business plan, who spent 25 years building that fortune, took less than she was owed, and gave most of it away without ever saying a word against him. Mackenzie Scott does not need the Met Gala. She does not need Vogue. She does not need Anna Wintour to pick out her dress or $100 million to get her name on a guest list. She has something that no amount of money can purchase, and Lauren Sanchez proved it again this week. Class is not something you can sponsor. Respect is not something you can buy, and legacy is not something you can delete and repost with a new name. If you want to see the full timeline of what Jeff Bezos has lost since leaving Mackenzie and why insiders say his smile tells the whole story, that video is right here on your screen. Click it now.